Everyone thinks they know how the Vanderlinde gang fell apart. Simple story, right? A robbery in Blackwater went wrong and everything spiraled from there. But here's the thing, we're watching the cover-up. The game's opening minutes exist to make you believe the lie. The setup is perfect. You're primed from the very start to see these people as victims of history, the last of a dying breed. When you meet them freezing in the mountains, carrying wounded companions while mourning their dead, who wouldn't feel sympathy? Dutch wants you to feel exactly that. But the Blackwater Massacre wasn't a robbery gone wrong. Something much worse happened down there. Look at how broken they are, how real their suffering feels. You're born into their trauma with no way to see what actually happened. All you have are the stories they tell you, and the loudest voice telling you those stories belongs to Dutch Vanderlinde.
If we don't stop soon, we'll all be dying. This weather, it's May. I'm just hoping the law got as lost as we did.
The game starts you off in the middle of the story, after the disaster, during the escape. You never see Blackwater. You never witness what Dutch actually did. You only know what the survivors tell you, and they're either lying or working from incomplete information. By dropping you into their shared nightmare, the game makes you one of them, another person dependent on Dutch's version of events. Inside the shed, the mood is grim. The fire is lit, blankets are passed around.
Miss Jones, bring in whatever blankets we have. Mr. Pearson? See what we've got in terms of food.
Then, the inevitable news.
Davy's dead.
There was nothing more you could have done.
Watch Dutch work, every word calculated to make them need him more. This goes beyond a simple eulogy. He's performing manipulation at its finest, binding them together through their grief.
Listen to me, all of you, for a moment. Now, we've had a bad couple of days. I loved Davy, Jenny, Sean, Mac. They may be okay. We don't know. But we lost some folks. Now, if I could throw myself in the ground in their stead, I'd do it. Gladly.
Notice the pattern. First, he tells them how much he loved the dead, making their loss about his pain. Then comes the big, empty gesture. He'd die for them, if only he could. It costs him nothing to say, but makes him look like a saint. This is textbook cult leader behavior. Make every tragedy about your own suffering, then position yourself as the only one strong enough to bear it. He then pivots from mourning to command, transforming their shared grief into a new mandate for his leadership.
But we're gonna ride out, and we're gonna find some food. Everybody, we're safe now. There ain't nobody following us through a storm like this one. And by the time they get here, well, we're gonna be long gone. We've been through worse than this before. Mr. Pearson, Miss Grimshaw, I need you to turn this place into a camp. We may be here for a few days. Now, all of you, get yourselves warm. Stay strong. Stay with me. We ain't done yet.
He doesn't apologize, he doesn't explain, he takes their grief and turns it into fuel for his leadership. Stay with me, not we'll get through this together.
Stay with me.
Because without him, they're nothing. At least that's what he needs them to believe. Here's a leader who just got exactly what he wanted. Complete control born from complete chaos. It hammers home the tragedy so hard that when you finally start seeing the cracks in Dutch's story, you think he's changing or losing it.
Pay more. Pay now.
Dutch, what are you doing? Jesus. Easy, Dutch. What was that?
Horrible old crone.
But you killed her.
She was gonna betray us, Arthur. Couldn't you tell?
No.
You give me this ship, $10,000, and safe passage out of here, I'll let you live.
I'll do no such thing.
You sure? Good. I prefer it this way.
You lost your mind.
But he's not changing at all. He's being revealed. The game hides this by making you a victim of the same con as everyone else. This is demonstrated very clearly in the pivotal first exchange between Arthur and Dutch about the inciting incident.
Hey, I ain't had time to ask. What really went down back there on that boat?
Arthur asks the only question that matters. What actually happened? And listen to Dutch's answer.
We missed you. That's what happened.
He dodges completely, emotional manipulation disguised as camaraderie. He makes Arthur feel guilty for not being there while subtly suggesting Arthur could have prevented all of it. In one sentence, Dutch avoids accountability and makes his most loyal enforcer feel responsible for a disaster he had nothing to do with. Anytime someone tries to understand what really happened, Dutch treats it like betrayal.
I know you hate him, Dutch.
He's here for us.
I doubt that.
No, you're just doubting me.
I would never doubt you, Dutch.
And this deflection is where Arthur's faith starts to crack, even if he doesn't know it yet. Here's what everyone gets wrong about Dutch. They think Blackwater broke him. They think the pressure drove him mad, and the changing world destroyed something good. But look closer at who he was before. The madness was always there. Blackwater revealed the monster. It didn't create him. Dutch lives like a king while his family scrapes by. He takes a cut of every job but never puts money in the camp funds. His tent has luxuries. The Marstons sleep on the ground. Everything about the camp life feeds his ego. He needs to be the richest, the smartest, and the most important.
We have all made mistakes over the years, Hosea. Every last one of us. But I kept us together. Kept us alive. Kept the nooses off our neck.
This is classic narcissistic behavior wearing the mask of a father figure, a parasite dressed up as a patriarch. Even his passionate speeches are rehearsed. You find a paper near his tent, one of his freedom speeches, written out word for word. He even marked where to pause for effect. Dutch's whole philosophy serves as a costume to make robbery look noble. He doesn't believe in freedom, he just likes playing the rebel king.
This place ain't no such thing as civilized. It's man, so in love with greed, he has forgotten himself and found only appetites.
If you want to understand Blackwater, just look at Dutch's past. The pattern was always there. Take his feud with Colum O'Driscoll. Everyone thinks it's this righteous vendetta over his dead lover. That's Dutch's version, anyway. Here's what actually happened.
Some things I can forgive, others I can forget. What he did to Annabelle, I can't do neither.
Dutch plays the grieving lover perfectly, but Arthur knows the truth.
You killed his brother, Dutch.
Yes, I did. And I hope the bastards will be reunited soon enough. That's how this'll end.
Dutch started it. He killed Colum's brother first, and Annabelle died in retaliation. Yet, in Dutch's mind, he's the victim. He erases his own crime and uses the aftermath to justify endless violence. Does that sound familiar? Because the same thing would happen again in Blackwater.
We allowed ourselves to get a step behind in Blackwater. That won't happen again.
Start a disaster, play the victim, and use the chaos to tighten his grip. The feud with O'Driscoll was practice. Blackwater was the masterpiece. The Vanderlyn gang operates like a cult, with Dutch running it like every cult leader who ever lived. He doesn't want partners. He wants worshippers who'll never question his divine right to rule.
I got some ideas hatching, but I need you with me, not against me. Both of you.
Just look at who he recruits. Orphans, outcasts, people with nowhere else to go.
We drifted around. He was a very sad man, and the drink had a mean hold on him. Around 13, I just took off on my own.
That was about the age we found young Arthur here. Maybe a little older.
He saves them when they're children and raises them to see him as their savior.
Taught me to read. John, too. Taught me a few other things, him and Hosea.
And he creates this whole us against the world mentality that keeps them isolated.
Dutch saved me. Saved most of us. That's why we need to stick by him through this.
These are the classic cult tactics in action. And that dream of paradise he's always selling, Tahiti or whatever.
Tahiti, dear boy. Tahiti.
Tahiti. Tahiti. Tahiti. Tahiti. Tahiti.
The Tahiti.
Tahiti.
Tahiti?
Tahiti's not.
Tahiti?
Tahiti.
Tahiti you're killing? Come on, John.
It's never gonna happen, because reaching paradise would mean Dutch isn't needed anymore. The struggle is the point. The running and fighting, that's what keeps them needing him.
Proud of you boys. All of you. Not a man down.
Good work, fellas.
Not bad for some starving down and outs. They can pummel us hard as they like, but we will always get back up and fight. That's who we are.
A real family helps its members grow and leave, but a cult keeps them trapped forever. Blackwater was Dutch's way of making sure they could never leave. By making the whole world their enemy, he became their only possible savior. Alright, so here's the truth about Blackwater. Dutch orchestrated a purge disguised as a heist. He didn't want the money. He wanted to eliminate threats to his power and reset the gang under his total control. The perfect crime hidden inside of what looks like a complete disaster.
Shut up, Arthur. He set us up. Played me like a yokel.
And the biggest red flag is that two people who could have stopped Dutch were conveniently somewhere else. Hosea could talk Dutch down from his worst ideas.
What do you want from me, Hosea?
I just don't want any more folks to die, Dutch.
And Arthur was the only person whose doubts actually mattered to the rest of the gang.
You always said revenge is a luxury we can't afford.
This is the right call, Arthur.
And both of them just happened to be working another job when Dutch decided to rob that ferry. This was planning, not bad luck. Think about it. Hosea would have seen right through a plan designed to fail. Arthur would have asked too many questions.
You know, maybe it's me who's changed, not him, but we kept telling him that ferry job didn't feel right. You and me had a real lead in Blackwater that could have worked out.
Maybe.
It just isn't like Dutch to lose his head like that.
With them gone, Dutch only had Micah whispering in his ear, and Micah wanted chaos.
Boys, because I thought you liked action. A couple of days on the lam, you lot have all turned yellow. I work clean! I don't leave loose ends!
What the hell are you doing?
He wasn't O'Driscoll.
He wanted the old guard gone, the perfect partner for Dutch's crime. Dutch needed something to make sure they could never go back, never negotiate or escape clean. Enter Heidi McCourt. Listen to how Javier tells it. The first time Arthur learns what really turned a robbery into a massacre, and the first time you learn it too.
You were there, Javier. What really happened on that boat?
We had the money, it seemed fine. Then suddenly they were everywhere.
Bounty hunters?
No, Pinkertons. It was crazy. Raining bullets. Dutch killed a girl in a bad way. But it was a bad situation.
They had the money. The job was done. Then Dutch murdered an innocent woman, not in self-defense and not by accident. He executed her publicly and brutally. That's what brought the heat. That's what made them outlaws forever. A normal robbery, even a violent one, you can come back from. Murdering a civilian creates a death sentence, and Dutch knew that. He counted on it. He needed them all to be as damned as he was.
That ain't like him, though.
The cover-up becomes obvious when you compare stories. Nobody can keep their lies straight because they're all working from different scripts. If it was really just a job gone wrong, their stories would at least match up. They'd be emotional, sure, but the facts would align. Instead, Dutch gives you nothing but guilt trips while Javier admits to murder but immediately makes excuses for it. They're all dancing around something, and that something is the truth. Dutch orchestrated this whole disaster. The gang got fed a story about survival when really they're covering up a coup. So here's what really happened. Dutch van der Linde was never a good man who went bad. He was always bad, just skilled at hiding it. His whole persona was an act, and the Blackwater Massacre served as his grand finale. Dutch eliminated his opposition and traumatized his followers into submission. He built the gang exactly how he wanted it, violent, desperate, and completely dependent on him. It was the perfect crime hidden inside what looked like the worst disaster imaginable. The real tragedy of Red Dead Redemption 2 is that Dutch was never the man they thought he was. The family he built served as a stage for his one-man show. When that show needed a new act, he burned down the theater with everyone still inside. Blackwater wasn't where it all went wrong. That's where Dutch's mask finally became his real face. And once you see that, you can never unsee it. Thank you so much for watching. Click like, subscribe, and click this video to watch me expose the other conspiracies in games you probably love.